Hi everybody, welcome back to another exciting day of math. We're currently in our geometry unit and I'm so excited. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope that you are all surviving in this quarantine. I know that I've done a lot of cooking lately, and my hair's growing so long, but you guys really can't tell in this hat. Here, let me take it off for you. Oh, there you go. That's how much my hair's been growing since school let out and back in March. I think I need a haircut. What do you guys think? You know, maybe a little trim, maybe a little bit off the top, huh? Maybe a little bit in the back, huh? Maybe. All right, let's go ahead and get started with math. Enough about my hair. Let's go ahead and start off with some mental math. Maybe, hopefully, you guys can concentrate with my mess of a hair. Good Lord. All right, so for mental math, just remember, mental math, it's all in your head. You gotta have to prepare yourself and work on those mental math skills. So no writing anything down, no calculators, no asking a friend, a family member. Okay, you gotta do this in your head. Feel free to press the pause button whenever you guys are need a little more time, or if you're not quite at the end with us yet, that's okay. Just make sure you take your time that you need. All right, so for today's mental math, I want you to start off with the number 2. All right? After you have the number 2 in your head, I want you to then add the number of letters in the alphabet. You're going to add the number of letters in the alphabet. All right? Now, you're going to take that and then cut it in half. Okay? Good. Now I want you to divide by 2, which is dividing or cutting in half. All right? Cool. We got our answer. I think we have our answer. Hit the pause button if you're not ready. The answer is 7. Nice job. All right, so to prepare for today's lesson, you will only need a pencil and your student book. Just 2 things today, pencil and student book. All right, while you go get your supplies, I'm gonna go get a haircut because this is getting out of control. All right, go. That feels better. All right, so if you have your student book, let's go ahead and open that up to page 166. I want to say, I can't memorize all these pages. No, I'm sorry, page 167. Go ahead and open up your book to page 167. All right? Make sure you have your pencils ready. We're going to work on this one together. All right, so your page in your student book should look a little something like this. All right? And under regular circumstances, we would be using pattern blocks. Unfortunately, we're not in our classroom, thanks Corona, but we're going to do it here in the video. So the direction says, label the interior angles of each pattern block shown below. Use straight and right angles. And so yesterday we talked about straight and right angles. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just show you the measurements of these angles, and we can discuss them one by one. Here they are. So if we're looking, here are the answers. Ooh, magic. If we're looking at number 1, the 6-sided shape, number 1, each one of those angles inside of this polygon of the 6-sided shape measures 120 degrees. So let's go ahead and label those 120 degrees. One way we can kind of show, even though we're not measuring them, we do know that each of those angles is greater than 90 degrees. So 120 degrees would make sense. If we move on to number 2, you notice that the 2 side angles on the right and left also measure 120 degrees, while the angles on top and bottom actually measure half of the amount and are 60 degrees each. If we're looking at number three, and when we talk about triangles, we will classify this a little bit more. We'll look at this a little bit more closely, and we will classify this type of triangle. But you can see that each one of those triangle corners measures 60 degrees. The angles within each of that triangle are 60 degrees. Looking at number four, we're seeing a couple of similar measurements in angles. So go ahead and label those. The little arches that are there, those are indicative. Those show you which of the angle is being measured. And then we are writing the degree of that right next to that arc to let us know that that is the measurement of that angle. Number five, it's a square, and we know that each square has corners that are worth 90 degrees. And finally, for number for number six, we have two acute and two obtuse angles. Each of the acute angles there measures 30 degrees, while the obtuse angles measure 150. And you can tell that the 150 one is a lot greater than the 120 degree one. It's a lot wider than it is. So that makes sense. And then the 30-degree angles, if we put two of those together, we could probably fit them in one corner of the triangle in number three, or in the corners, the top corners of shape number four, to create that 60-degree angle there. All right, so go ahead and pause the video here if you guys need any more time to record any of these angle measures. All right, so just as an angle measures space between two lines, as we've talked about, it also measures the amount something turns or rotates, where one line or point, the starting point, one line is the starting point, and then as it rotates, where it ends is the second line or the end point. And so degrees and angles are also used to measure how much something rotates, similar to like a clock. So you're going to get up again. You're going to do some more movement right now, okay? So as I was saying, angles also measure how much something rotates. So let's pretend that we're a clock. We have two hands, just like a clock, an hour and a minute hand. The minute hand right here is not going to move. I'm only going to move my hour hand, okay? And so if I move my hour hand past 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then get to 3 o'clock, that creates a 90-degree angle, okay? There have been other angle measurements here, but when the hour hand gets to 3 o'clock, that now creates a 90-degree angle, okay, at 3 o'clock. If that hour hand keeps moving down to the bottom to 6 o'clock, I have created now a straight line or a straight angle, which measures 180 degrees. So we start at 0, and then went to 90 at 3 o'clock, and then went to 180 at 6 o'clock. And now if I'm moving all the way to 9 o'clock, that creates a 270 degree. And if I come back up to the top to meet the minute hand again, I am back to the 0, but since I've completed a complete turn, that measurement is 360 degrees. So a lot of you who are into skateboarding or skiing or any of the sports out there that have turns in them, a lot of times you hear, oh, he did a 360, oh, he did a 180, oh, that's a 270, oh, that's a 720. That all comes from the degrees that someone has turned, okay? So in your student book, this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be using clocks to determine the measurement of an angle, okay? So now we're going to complete pages 168 and 169. You'll notice there are 2 pages of clocks. Remember, the angle that we are measuring is the one with the little arch in it. And so even though there are 2 lines on the clock, to determine which one you're measuring, look for the little arch in the middle near the center of the clock. That will tell you which angle you're being asked about. If you are having trouble figuring out what the exact measurement is, I want you to use page 167, where we have written down all those angle measurements to help you figure out, mentally use those and connect them. If you see a straight angle, if you're seeing a straight angle, you know that's 180 degrees. But if you see that the clock has moved another hour or 2 or 3, how many degrees are we adding on? Does that look like a 30-degree angle? Does that look like a 60-degree angle? And then add those together to get your full measurement, okay? So use your brains. I know this is a little bit tough and a little bit of a challenge since we don't have any manipulatives with this. But maybe if you like, you can trace out those pattern blocks on page 167, trace them out, cut them out, and maybe use those on your clocks to help you determine how much an angle is. Moving forward, we will be using protractors next week, but for today's assignment, I want you to use these benchmark angles, these 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, 120, 150, and 180 to determine what the angles in those clocks are going to be. Now, they're also going to be asking you about fractions, so this will be a little bit of a refresher about how much of the angle is, what fraction that is in the clock. Is it 1/4? Is it 1/2? Is it, what is it, 3/4? Okay? So just make sure that you also bring back that knowledge. You guys, if you need any help with this, you can always catch me on Zoom or send me an email. That is all I have for you guys today. All we're doing is our student books. There's no home connections, no digital submission today. But I know this might be a little challenging, so please take your time and please make sure you ask questions, okay? I'm going to go and sign off. I had so much fun. Maybe hopefully my hair won't grow back anymore. It's naturally red like that. What can I tell you? All right. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Bye.